All right, today we are starting off doing a install of the Midland radio, and this could be for a CB radio. We're particularly doing the GMRS on this. Wanted to show you guys the idea that we had as far as putting a USB and then our quick disconnect for our Midland radio that we can use. And the quick style of doing this is, I'm not going to go into all the detail, but to get this screen off, you're going to end up pulling from right here, and this is going to pull out. And then there's two wires on the back side. There's a single screw that holds this trim panel on right here, and then this trim pulls off. And then there are 4 screws on the screen that come off. There are a couple other videos out there that detail it. If you haven't seen it before, it's a pretty easy concept. But let's move into the rest of the build here. All right, also some of you guys might be asking yourself, why would I want to do this type of setup where it's removable? And the idea is, this is not my daily driver, but it is not, I have a work vehicle, but I don't want to see this every day that I'm driving to and from the store and stuff like that. So by doing this, I can eliminate having all that in the dash, and then it's still just like viewing without it here. With dust caps on it, so I can go ahead and cover those up so that dust doesn't get in it day to day, and just have something that's kind of a little bit more usable where it just looks like your standard vehicle when driving. All right, the setup that we're using here is pan vise. It's pretty much the same as a ram mount or any of the other brands that are out there. There's quite a few of them. This was one I happen to have laying around already. And to use this part here, I just drilled the holes through the Midland radio support and just mounted it so it won't move around or bounce off while off-roading. All right, so after getting the radio removed, we verified that there is plenty of space for what all we want to put up in there. I did remove this panel already, and I drilled those holes, and by marking it, I just put this down where I wanted it, kind of putting it to the edges, and I marked it and then brought it out and drilled it, and that got us to drill holes here. And then I drilled down into the dash. From there, we're going to go and put the nuts and bolts all the way through. I'm using 3/8 inch, just little small ones like that, stainless steel, just for the longevity. And correction on the screw size is going to be an 8/32 by 3/4 is what I'm using. And from the bottom, you can see that those are sticking out plenty far, that we can go and put a washer and a nut on it. And that's what it looked like from the top side. If you're just driving, that's all you'll see if you don't have the attachment on. All right, as you can see, I also did a pull right here to the side. This will be for the microphone to actually plug into. And it drops back here on the back side. I made sure that it was far enough back. Get some light in there. Here we go. And you can see I've got those nuts and bolts tightened down on that, and they clear the screen going in. All right, I have also thinking about maybe adding a USB charging cable up in here and plugging it in, but it came with the waterproof housing. This didn't necessarily have to be here. Kind of just put this in to kind of help hold that Cat 5 cable in place. And we'll straighten this out, and then we'll go ahead and plug it up. And I ran the cable down back behind, and it drops out down below here. We're going to mount this up in this corner. All right, as you can see next to it, I added just a small USB. This is just an extension cord style, so it has on the other end of the cord just a standard USB-C, and I'm going to plug this into the Midland's radio, which I've got down below. All right, and as you can see up underneath here, I have attached the Midland's radio mount to this bar right here. If you pull it off, pull it out, it will actually fit right back up underneath and fit perfectly. I've done it in my wife's Jeep already. And then our USB-C extension is going to come down and plug in there. I'm just going to route the wire a little bit better and clean it up. All right, as you can see, the final install is in. I've got this on the vehicle auxiliary switches, so when I turn my ignition on, it comes right off for off-roading, so that way if my vehicle's off, I don't have to worry about it draining the battery out. As you can tell up top, I've got those plugs in where they've got the dust caps. If I need, I can simply unplug that one and just put the dust cap on. It's all pretty much buttoned back up except for down here. Give you a quick glance up underneath here. And you can tell there is the Midland radio. It's just barely cleared. I did test the steering wheel, raising it up and down. It does clear. And we've got the power being fed from right here. That's what gives us the USB-C power up top. And I ran the power or the antenna cable out here to the outside, just up through the firewall, and then it's running right there on that little tiny mount. All right, and in the wife's Jeep, we've done a very close idea. We use the Carolina Metal Master mirrors. She's also got those on top of the Lang. And what we've done on that is we've got the ball with the RAM extension arm and mounted the radio mic on there, so when she's driving, she can have it here. And then we ran the factory cable that came with the Midland radio, the extension cord right there. So when it's the other time of the year and we're not using it, we can go and disconnect it and not just have it sitting there. And then if you notice over here, we hang one of our portable radios for the spotter, and it's just on another one of those hinges and comes off that quick for us to use. So that's our setup here, and I've got one more of these in my vehicle.